9 months ago, Tori Salman was using AI the way most of us started, as a slightly better search engine. Today, she's built an entire automated AI workflow that picks her blog topics, runs her keyword research, books her interviews, and emails her team the questions before they walk in. So what happened in those 9 months? Well, the owner of her business, Robin Martin, put her in charge of marketing, not because she was an AI expert. She wasn't. Instead, he picked someone he knew would go figure it out at the highest level. And there's a good chance that maybe somebody on your team is just like that. So today, Tori walks through her entire build, step by step, so you could run the same thing. Where the AI takes over, where she takes it back, and the one thing to set up so it comes out and sounds just like you. Let's get into it.
You're listening to the Endless Customers podcast, brought to you by the team at Impact. Endless Customers is the proven system to become the most known and trusted brand in your market. If you want to learn the principles of Endless Customers and how you can implement them in your business, pick up a copy of Endless Customers, a national bestseller, wherever books are sold. Ready to start implementing Endless Customers in your business? Talk to Impact about how our coaching program can help you implement Endless Customers to success. And if you want to experience Endless Customers in person, don't miss our upcoming event, Endless Customers Live, in Hartford, Connecticut, October 5th through the 7th, 2026. Registration is now open. And now, on to the show. Here's your host, Bob Ruffolo.
All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of the Endless Customers podcast. Today, we have a great episode. We have one of our clients, just an incredible company called the Premier Home Team. We have their owner, Robin Martin, who's on with us today, and their head of marketing, Tori Salman, is on with us as well. And so guys, thank you so much for being on today. We have a great example to share. So I'm so excited to jump into it. So Robin, really quick, we're going to start with you. If you can you tell us about yourself and Premier Home Team a little bit?
Yeah, happy to. My name is Robin Martin. I've been a real estate agent since 2019. Started Premier Home Team in 2020, and we're a team of about 15 agents, and we have about 6 full-time administrators, and we joined Endless Customers because we wanted to find ways to not only kind of take our marketing into a new age, but also to kind of balance the way in which our team sources its business. And so we've been with Endless Customers now for 9 months.
About 9 months, yeah. And you've been working with Allison Bellis on our team and Mandy York primarily, and a few others probably too, right?
Yeah. They have been unbelievable.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we think very highly of them too, and they think very highly of you and the business that you're running and the things that you guys have accomplished as well. And the other thing I love about you, Robin, too, is you bring a lot of energy to our events. So it's been great seeing you at our conferences, and I really do appreciate you going to those all the time.
Yeah.
Good. And Robin, how long have you had somebody owning marketing inside your business?
Well, we actually started that process when we started with Endless Customers.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was pretty. It was everyone's job, which meant it was no one's job.
Mm-hmm.
And that was marketing was not something that we had KPIs for or really handled in a professional manner until we started coaching with you guys.
Great.
And that's been a significant difference for us because there's no coherent strategy if someone doesn't own it.
We're going to get really tactical today. And when we do, we're going to switch over to Tori and we're, I have so many questions for her, but before we go and switch over to the, how she's doing just incredible things with AI and content marketing these days. Robin, let's also let's dive a little bit more into your decision to go all in on saying, okay, content, AI visibility, trust, earning this business from people. What was the shift that you were seeing there? Like, hey, this is a channel we have to go all in on. We're going to bring somebody in who own it. We're going to bring coaching in, and we're going to be the most known, trusted, and recommended real estate company in our market. What was the trigger that said, I have to do this for your business?
I'm pretty sure this is a pretty standard story, but I heard Marcus speak.
Yes.
And one thing that really rang true for me was what AI is going to be, what the current desired customer experience, what that is,
Changing.
and how those two things were integrated. And so I kind of had a light bulb moment that we were relatively ill-equipped for the future as it was coming.
Yeah.
And that we needed to make changes inside of our business to make sure that our agents continued to have everything that they needed to be successful. And so it was a real acknowledgement of where consumer behavior is headed in an AI-driven world, and how to continue to remain relevant in those changes. And so for me, that was the biggest piece of the puzzle. I just wanted to make sure that I was preparing my company and the way it serves the agents that I'm so lucky to be partnered with.
Yeah.
The way it's
the
able
human
to
agents, not the AI agents, the human agents that do
That's
real
right.
estate
The real
work.
estate agents that I need to be partnered with, to make sure that we're prepared into the future. And that was the biggest impetus. And it's proven to be significantly more than that.
Yeah.
But that was the main driver.
And most people, it's shocking at first, and they can almost hedge and say, I don't know if I really feel comfortable bringing on a full-time person to own content and marketing for my business. And you said, we're going to do this right. We're going to go all in. Walk us through your emotions and your feelings and what really helped get you over that hump. And what was the process like for hiring Tori and bringing her on?
Yeah, well, we were lucky enough to already be partnered with Tori inside of our business. So every once in a while, you're lucky enough when you make an adjustment or make a pivot to have someone already inside of your world that would be perfect for that role. Doesn't usually work that way.
Yeah, that's true.
But being partnered with Tori, it made it really, like, she was excited about what we were building, understood the mission, understood where we were going with it, and had a deep understanding of our business and our clientele base.
Nice.
And so that human, it doesn't always exist. It's kind of like a unicorn, but it existed inside of our business. So that partnership made a lot of sense in our early formation. And honestly, from a business owner standpoint, it made it a little bit more financially feasible, right? Is that we were able to move some of the things that were on Tori's book off to other staff, and be able to allow Tori some room to be able to dedicate some space to this, with the long-term understanding that someday we'll be moving it off her book as well, and be able to bring on a true person to run this entire process. So it was it's been a really great bridge for us, because we have such a talented person on staff. But it is the initial push to add a videographer and add a content creator and pay for coaching and equipment and all of those things. It's a hard pill for any business owner to swallow. But what we did is we took a look at our marketing budget and how much we were spending on other kinds of marketing, and where this had the potential, like the space that this had the potential to occupy in terms of percentage of business. And then for us, it made it a lot more palatable. We're just not spending our money elsewhere and really kind of doubling down on this.
Well, what I think you're incredibly smart here too is, I just had Scott Merritt on the show. His company was Honest Fix. You probably saw his examples at the conference last time, and he had just a brilliant episode. And the way he's describing it right now is he's trying to build a moat around his business. He's going to be the first one in his market, in his space, and really almost in his industry to really go all in on this content and build such a authority around his entity of his brand that no one else is going to be able to penetrate that. And by the time they even start doing it, he's going to just keep going and going and going, be so far ahead of them. So I think it's really smart that you saw that, Robin, and that's what you guys are doing. So speaking of unicorns, why don't we turn it over to the unicorn now, Tori. And so Tori, so you had this conversation with Robin, and this is going to be an interesting. So when he said you were in the ecosystem, were you working directly for Premier? Were you a contractor? Tell me about your relationship with Robin and Premier at the time that you took over this role.
Yeah, so I started working for Robin back in about November 2020, shortly after he started the business.
Oh,
So
an OG.
yeah, I've seen, I've done everything from starting off as Robin's assistant to
Yeah.
running the operations side of the business.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Oh man, I have some people like that in my company too, and man, it's so valuable having people like that. Um, and so when Robin came back from the conference and he was like, I saw the speaker, Marcus Sheridan, and he yelled at me and he said, we need to be doing this stuff. And I'm like, we got to be doing this stuff in this company. What was your perspective from receiving that message secondhand?
First of all, oh boy, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Um, but also really exciting. Always looking for ways that we can, you know, bring in more business for the agents on our team, and I think it's the way of the future as well. So really exciting to be able to be a part of this and building this part of the business.
So cool. And by the way, Mandy thinks the world of you. She recommended you for this episode. She's like, Tori's got so much to share, and we're gonna start getting into all that right now too. So, all right. So you're now got this new function in the company, and you started working with Mandy. What was your experience like starting up, being trained by the Impact team, and what were some of the things you worked on first?
So the experience has been amazing, working with the team, Alison and Mandy. I've also been working with Janet and Mary um, on the website of things.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's been so supportive and really just guiding us step by step. So we've been relying on their experience and guidance a lot to move us down the path to where we need to be.
Yeah.
And it's made it a lot easier than it would have been if we were trying to do it on our own, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Good. What were some of the first things you guys worked on? Was it? I'm gonna imagine pricing was probably somewhere in your first uh, 90 days of work, right?
We've been working on like our suite of blog and video posts to accompany our assignment selling
Yeah.
series. So that's been a huge focus to begin with. And now that we're kind of through that process, we're really starting to dial into some of those big five topics, especially pricing, so that
Yeah.
we've got that information out there for our for anyone that comes to visit our
Yeah.
team online.
And Robin alluded to it, and I know this. So obviously, content's not your only job. It's part of your job, but it's not your only job. You got a lot of other responsibilities, and I think this is where it gets really interesting, unique, because being so busy, and you understand the importance of it has to get done. If it doesn't get done, someone else is going to do it, another company, and they're going to start, winning the competitive knife fight with us. Can't let that happen. So tell us about what you were observing and what was going through your mind as you're saying, okay, I got all these other things on my plate. I have to figure out how to get all this stuff done. What was your thought process going through that?
Well, to be honest, to start with, I just started looking at how I could use AI to help me like draft blog posts. I was creating, you know, content and interview questions for our agents to act as the SMEs, and then I was left with this transcript, and I'm like, how do I get this into the finished product without it consuming all my time? So I started off um, just using the AI to help me sometimes like create some of the, table of contents and some questions, and then help me write the first draft of a blog post. And then I had a session with Mandy, like a coaching session with Mandy, and she was like, let's think about some other ways that you could use this. And it evolved from me using it as an aid to drafting the blog posts to taking it right back to the evolution and taking an idea that we had and working every step through the AI. So I
Yeah.
have the AI read my content spreadsheet and look for a new topic. It runs the keyword research through SEMrush
Oh,
and
nice.
gives me a list of titles of the blog post, and it takes it all the way through to creating a table of contents, SME questions, creating the calendar invites and sending reminder emails to our agents so that they show up to the interview time slots.
Great.
And then once that's all done, it goes ahead and it writes the draft of the blog post, creates like SEO optimized keywords, and then drops it on my desk for like edit
Yeah,
and
like read
review.
this, make sure this
Yeah.
is right before it goes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So
Yeah. And I mean, I have like checkpoints all along the way because we don't ever want it to feel like the AI is writing.
oh, of
So
course, yeah.
we stop like at checkpoints all along the way to make sure that we maintain the voice of our team and our agents inside all of the content.
Cool. All right. So Tori, so tell me about your use of AI before starting this program with us. Were you an AI user, or was this something that you were leaning heavier in out of necessity?
I was just beginning to learn about AI before
Yeah.
this, so I was probably using it as more of a like search engine than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So here's the
looking
lesson.
at,
It's
yeah.
9 months. She went from like, I'm learning AI to building full content marketing workflows. Absolutely incredible. So when you were dabbling with AI, what platform are you using and what are you using today?
So we're starting out with ChatGPT, and then depending on what I needed to do, I was using a little bit of Gemini, and now I like 95% of the time I'm using Claude
Yeah. Claude Cowork.
because the co-work
Yeah.
allows me to, connect to all of the other platforms that I need, that make the workflow work.
And I know, obviously, this would be an interesting thing. But I'll just ask it now. So there's self-guided learning because you could just, and this is what I think what Robin was saying before. You have to have somebody in the seat that cares. It's not like, oh, it's good enough. I just want Robin to accept it and Mandy to accept it and just get it done so I can just go do anything else. It's like, no, that's not your attitude. You're like, I want to figure out how to like really build this thing in the company, right? And that's like really mission critical here. And Tori, you're that person.
Yeah.
And so you already have that drive for self-learning, and you could do so much by just going to the platform saying, how do I do this? And how do I do this better? And then what do I do? What's the order of operations? Where do I file that? How should I structure my files? And how can I make this do this? And you just keep going down that road and you learn so much.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people saying like, okay, so AI is intelligence and can give you so much there. But then there's also judgment and experience, and I think and accountability, and that's probably like the Mandy and Allison layer that fits in. So how much of this are you doing self-guided, and how much of this are you doing with like Mandy and Allison like guiding you?
So most of the actual building of the workflows and systems, because I've also built some tracking systems outside, like through co-work in Notion, so that we have like a Kanban style
Yeah.
dashboard to track our content all the way through to the videos being published on YouTube.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And I've worked with Mandy a lot on the ideation of stuff, and she's, feeding me some ideas, and then I just take it and run
Yeah.
with it. And I'm curious, and like, so as I said, I had a coaching call with Mandy, and we started to talk about what steps we could utilize AI for. And as I was building out those steps, I realized that there was so much more that I could build into it that we hadn't even thought about during that session.
Yeah.
And so it just has taken shape as I've been working on it and figured out that I could utilize it to do the keyword research for me
Yeah.
and set the calendar invites and send the emails and attach the documents and populate the Notion board so that I know what's happening. And the AI capabilities are changing all the time. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
an evolving process because
Yeah.
we're going to continue to be able to do more and more as we move along.
That's so great. That's so great. So, what I heard back is like, yeah, you get the self-guided learning, you go to AI, you ask it questions, it's helpful. But where maybe Mandy and Allison come in, it's like the things you don't know to ask, or maybe this, I've seen this client do this. I know AI is recommending this, but this client did this and it really, really worked. You should try it too. And then you go and you build it on your own. And okay, so that makes a lot of sense. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, for all the real geeky people watching this, and I'm talking to all of you, there's a lot of you on here. For all the geeky people on here, explain your exact setup. So we know it's Claude Cowork, but now let's slow down, talk through all the tools and how it goes all the way through your process, what touches it till we get to the other side where everything's published. And you said the video is getting published. So let's go through that really, really specifically, if you don't mind.
Of course, yeah. So we start out, we have our content calendar in a Google sheet, and we populate that with the next round of topics that we're going to work on. And then I have Cowork connect to the Google sheet to identify, whatever one I've marked off to do next. And then it connects from there. It connects to SEMrush and using an API, and it does the keyword research. And then it comes back in a notification in Claude and gives me an outline of the suggested titles and the keyword rankings for each of the titles, why it would choose which one it would.
Cool.
And from there, I choose whichever title I want, and then it creates a card in the Notion dashboard with all of connects it to the big 5 categories and notates keywords, attaches a Google document with the initial research that it's done. Nice. And then from there, it goes back and it creates a table of contents and SME interview questions. And we stop again there and I check and make sure that it's heading in the direction that I want it to.
Yeah.
We make any adjustments along the way. Hey, you've gone in this direction, but it's meant to be going this way. And then from there,
Tori, you missed the best part, which is when this is right around the time when Tori starts to argue with Claude. and it is wildly entertaining to watch Tori argue with Claude. It's usually right around here. You're not listening to me, which is great. So I just wanted to
see, Tori seems so sweet here. But Tori's got no style. She's got an anger when it comes to talking to these AI bots. You're going to do what I want or else.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, we create all of that, and sometimes I do have arguments with Claude when it doesn't do what I want it to.
Oh, we all do.
But once I approve the outline and the interview questions, it also creates a content cover sheet and creates like meta descriptions, URLs, and meta titles, everything that we need through the Endless Customers ecosystem.
Yep.
And then I approve that. It goes into my calendar and it reads my calendar and the SME's calendar and gives me a list of 3 suggested times to schedule the SME interview.
Super cool.
Once I approve that, it sets up the calendar invite and then it sends an email out to the agent saying, hey, you have an interview on this date. Here's the questions and the outline so that you can review them beforehand. And then moves the Notion card over into my column that says the interview is scheduled and you're ready to go. So then we interview. I haven't actually built this into the workflow, but I use Otter to record the interviews for the transcription. And then I paste that into the Google Doc that's attached to the Notion card. So it's all connected.
Yep.
And then I set the workflow in motion again, and Cowork goes into the Google Doc and reads the transcript, and then writes the content and contents and writes the first draft of the blog post.
Amazing.
So then I take it from there and I manually edit from that point.
Yeah, which is perfect. Yeah. as a general rule of thumb, no one should ever auto publish anything or auto send anything, both for security reasons,
No.
but also to
Yeah.
like you have to have the human in the loop still. So, how much time is that entire workflow, and how much time have you saved from the workflow you've set up that saved from the original way you did pre AI?
That's a great question. I think I haven't really it's definitely saved me a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I
Now
tend
you're
to,
spending the time building workflows.
yeah, exactly. But I tend to work in time blocks. So I'll start Claude working on 3 or 4 different topics at one
Yeah.
time and then just schedule everything all at once. So I might spend an hour or two getting that all through to the point where it's scheduled. And then I have 15 to 20-minute blocks where I interview the agents. And then
Yeah.
the writing still takes me a little bit more time. But I'm getting to the point where I use Claude to help generate a lot of the graphics for the blogs as well. So if we're
Yeah.
looking for, any kind of visuals to illustrate what we're talking about, Claude does a really good job of creating flowcharts and things that, so
Yeah.
I don't even have to go into Canva anymore to create that stuff. I just use the AI for that as
Wow.
well.
And it sounds like you're
Yeah.
probably like me. I have like 7 sessions going at once. If I don't have like 7 sessions with brown blinking dots, all
Yeah.
going at once, I feel like I'm not being super productive.
Yeah. And then I'm like, how much more time until it times out on me? What more can I get done
I
before I'm
know.
locked out for 2 hours?
I know. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, do you have those transcripts saved anywhere, like on your desktop where your Claude cowork is constantly accessing it so it could pull not only from current conversations, but also from past ones?
So everything's saved we work within the like Google Workspace. So everything's saved in the Google Workspace,
Yeah.
and it's all accessible through the Notion dashboard. So
Okay.
every topic that we cover has a document attached to it, and that has the initial research with the keywords, the content cover sheet, the table of contents, the SME interview, and then I just paste in the interview transcript when I've completed it. And I could probably most likely work that into the workflow. It's just not
Yeah.
something I've done.
Yeah. So on my setup,
Yeah.
I've been doing, I use a tool called Obsidian, and I'm not sure if you ever heard of it. But that acts as like the vault of all the information. And then I have it set up so everything gets pulled in all the time. Everything lives in there, and it knows to search pretty much the entire vault, or if not, it knows how to route through the vault to find what it's looking for. So that way, if I have already got the answers to the questions, I don't have to do an interview. It's going to pull from everything it's ever learned and be able to do it. So it could be an opportunity for you to take a look at Obsidian as well. I'm not sure if anyone else here is using Obsidian, but I've been really playing with it, and I like it. And everything is in markdown files in there. So that way it's really fast and easy for AI to use it. So that's been pretty cool.
That's great. I think you kind of hit on a point there. It's like the AI is only as good as all of the information that you feed it and
That's right.
update it with. So
And how well it
I'm
can,
going to look into that.
it's wired and able to access everything too. Yeah. Good. Now you said we got to the end of the article here, but then you said your workflow ends with videos. So what's the back half of this workflow now that you get to your videos? I'm very, very curious.
So once we have completed the blog posts, and we do have a videographer on team, once that blog post is working its way towards video, then I take it and I put it back into the workflow and create the video script out of there, and then because I've created the blog, I kind of know the points that I think make the most sense. So I'll create all the video scripts, and then I hand them. They pop into another page on the Notion dashboard where our videographer lives, and then he just takes the scripts and makes any edits and approves them, and then they get sent. And once he approves them, then we have Claude go out and create the calendar invites for the agents for the video filming days and send them out the scripts via email, which Claude does.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I love this. Super, super cool.
Also, our videographer is in his like early 20s, and kind of had this like we'd have these content meetings, and he would come with this spreadsheet and of where he was with each individual video, and Tori was like, "Oh, sweetheart, let me fix that for you," and and turn it into a Notion board and completely like streamlined his process too. So I'm pretty sure when I brush my teeth in the morning, it moves some kind of tile on a Notion board somewhere, because Tori has put the entire process. We have a video editor on staff as well, and everyone can see where everything is with every, like, from ideation all the way to publishing, and that kind of workflow is really really great from an owner's perspective, because I can see where everything's at. But it also pulls in our videographer and end to end our video editor into the entirety of the process.
Love that.
Which now it's not just one little slice that they own. They understand the work that they're doing and how it fits into the larger piece. And that's kind of been the magic of what Tori's been able to create.
So cool. So cool. Now, so Tori, let's look at time here. So you talked about being very busy. Have you been reallocating your time to other things that you're able to add into your marketing plan or marketing execution that maybe you wouldn't have had time for before this workflow?
Well, I don't just do marketing.
Yeah.
I do a bunch of other stuff with the team as well. So still running like operations of the team and making sure our transactions team is, happy and, working smoothly as well. So some of the time I save on this, I'm able to put into other time. And usually it's me like thinking about other ways we can use AI to like streamline these processes. If I could just build the systems and not have to write the blog posts, that would be my ideal world, but that's not the reality.
It sounds like that's coming though.
Some of the time I'm putting into building that, but working on the audit to make sure that like we're highly searchable across the internet, and helping out with the web projects, as well as looking for opportunities to share more AI involvement in the real estate side of the team as well.
Excellent. Well, as we get ready to conclude this episode, is there any other advice that each of you would have for our audience based on what you've learned in your first 9 months on the Endless Customers journey? Rob, we'll start with you and then we'll come back to you, Tori.
Yeah, I think the more that I utilize AI, the more I realize that all the work's in the front end. And the more that AI understands about you and your business and what your voice is and all of the pieces of your business, the more effectively they can operate. And the reality is that makes AI just like any other employee.
Mm-hmm.
And that you have to, if you don't take the time to train them up front, if you don't take the time to make them understand what their role is in the entirety of the process, if they don't know how you like things done, they're likely to underperform. And so I think Tori and I have really taken a lot of time. Like we have hundreds of pages of conversations, thousands of pages really of conversations with Claude that come before we ask a question or before we ask for an outcome, so that they have an understanding of the background, so that they can know what they're creating. And so that would be my one piece of advice: is just don't be afraid to have longer conversations. When I ask a question, I'm usually uploading some piece of information or asking Claude a question. Do you know about this aspect of my business, before I say, what's the best day to publish on Instagram? Like, it needs context, just like any other human being needs context, before it can give you a proper answer.
Amazing. And that context also grows over time. The more you use it, the more you say, update your instructions based on what I just said. What did you learn from what I just said that would change the instructions? More things like that I've noticed have been very, very helpful. And that's just a practice that has to continue. Just like any employee, you bring on a new employee, they're going to learn how to do something. They're going to make some mistakes. What did you learn from, the next time you did it, and just sharpening it up. And over time, it really hones itself in. So that great share, Robin, that was awesome. All right. And Tori, what's your final piece of advice?
I think it's just take the leap and give it a try, but stay really present and involved. Like Robin said, feed it the context and create the agent that you want it to be. You have to be in there. You can't expect it to present the final product and just run with it. Spend
the time with it, ask it how to do it better, and give it the time and nurturing it needs, and it'll produce outcomes for you. Amazing. Well, we are incredibly proud of you guys. You're running a very, very great business over there at Premier Home Team. If somebody needs a home, how are they going to touch it with you, Robin?
They can reach us at robin.martin@premierhometeam.com.
And your market right now, remind me, you guys are located where again?
We're located in the greater Philadelphia area. We serve Philadelphia, Delaware, and New Jersey. Right where we're located, they're all a stone's throw away. But happy to service somebody. Also, I think for one of the things that's been really great for us has been the Endless Customers community. And so whether or not you want to buy a house, if you want to talk to us about your experience or ask us any questions, if we can help you in any way.
I appreciate that.
Please feel free to reach out to us.
That's great. Are you looking for agents right now too? Did I pick up on that in this interview? That's a big initiative.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually been a big push for us from the media side and blog side. So if you're interested in being part of a team that is preparing for the future of real estate, come find us. We'd love to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for being on the episode and sharing your wisdom and your workflows. Can't wait to see, Tori, how you continue to advance this. And hopefully we'll have you back on the episode here 3-6 months from now. And you'll be like, all right, everything I said in that last episode, forget. We are so much more further down the road. And this is what we learned the last 6 months. So that would be great. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And this has been another episode of the Endless Customers Podcast. Until our next episode, we will see you there.
If you liked this episode, please take a minute to leave us a review. Thanks for checking out the Endless Customers Podcast.